Hey there, it's JohnBerry555 and welcome to my full spoiler review of Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 5, Entombed. So if you haven't seen my spoiler-free review yet, the link to the short will be linked in the cards above, so go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Also, watch the episode if you haven't seen it yet, because I will be spoiling it. But let us begin right in. So, the premise of this episode is the Bad Batch and then that pirate lady who's also a treasure hunter, Fee. They go basically in search of a treasure that they find a compass for among some debris that they are actually more in a junkyard when Omega and Black were sent to go get a new compressor. They also found this. Tech dismissed it as all the other stuff they grabbed as junk. But Fee saw this one piece that ended up being a compass. So they go to a barren planet that's not on any known charts, and they have to go through and basically find the treasure. And eventually they do find what might be the treasure. Basically, it is some kind of crystal thing, but it activates a mech, for lack of a better term. When it's taken out, that's kind of weird, but probably just how it operates. Ancient. There's some reference to wherever the site is being over 1,000 years old, predating the Jedi and all that. And the design of the mech we already saw in the trailers. And it does make me think, could the Zephyr be somehow involved? Because its main weapon reminds me so much of one of the attacks that the Tomb Guardians in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order have. So I'm thinking this could be connected with the Zephyr. Of course, obviously we don't know for sure, but we do know that the Zephyr did have an interplanetary civilization that eventually fell to the dark side. So having a big mech that basically just destroys a planet as it walks along, it's not that unrealistic, especially in the later times. And especially because of with some of the stuff going on inside of it, which we originally think is just a mountain, does make me think there's some kind of, having access to the Force could be very beneficial in operating it. And the reason why the Bad Batch and Fee are unable to operate it, stop it, by technical means is because they don't have access to the Force like the Jedi do. And also the Zephyr. I think there is some referencing going on. There's some connections there. But that's maybe just good for greater Star Wars, but I'm not sure how this will come back into play in the Bad Batch. Could it be filler? I don't think so. But this definitely feels more like filler than last week's episode, which was a tech-focused episode where we got to learn about tech. But in this episode, we get to learn about Fee, and I have a feeling she's going to play more of a role. So this episode was about establishing who she is. And I think that's the important thing. With whatever stories are developing, we need to know who Fee is in order to understand the story when it plays. And that's what this episode is for. And for the context of the episode, they just created something that connects nicely with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Oh, somewhat nicely, because it's all kind of speculative at this point still. But I do appreciate that we can draw those connections, that we can form the bigger Star Wars universe, the lore of it all. But of course, there's also a little bit of a parallel to what's going on with the clones and how they did tell the story. Especially with the compass that was just a tool in order for the devastating weapon, while the clones were just a tool for Palpatine, the creation of the Empire, destruction of the Jedi, end of democracy in the galaxy. So there's some nice parallels there. But I do think the hardest episode is showing some fun references that might be for Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I hope, and getting us to know who Fee is, so that way when she plays a role later on in the story, we know who she is. Give a good baseline for her characterization. That she searches for treasure. The hunter and the rest of the batch sees her as a pirate, minus Omega. But also that she's not above doing. While she may put herself in danger, she's not. She's willing to let treasure go in order to, survive, for lack of a better term. And there's a couple other things going there that she exaggerates and does tall tales. So that's like the baseline of her character, and that's what we need to know for whatever they're planning in the future. But that's why I'm going to end this review. I do hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of this episode? I would love to get a discussion going. Also, be sure to check out in the links in the description down below, and to like, share, and upvote if you haven't yet done so already. And feel free to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming content. And as always, have a good day, good night, wherever you are. May the Force be with you always.